Hello. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can now.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. It's past 5 in the UK. I hope everybody is well. Anyway, I have got Kelly here. Hello, Kelly. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing today, Steve?
I'm all right. I'm all right. So? I haven't seen you for a while. Well, I haven't heard from you for a while. What have you been up to?
Yeah, I know. I feel like it has been a while. Just lots of we've been doing a lot of classes lately, so all good things happening. And I got married last month, which was really exciting. So there's that too.
Where was my invitation?
What did you sorry, you cut out. I think my maybe it's my internet. I don't know.
I said, where was my wedding invitation?
Oh man, you would have come all the way to Colorado?
Of course, of course. Give me an excuse for an holiday.
Right.
Anyway, tell everybody about. By the way, was it a good wedding? Was it
Yeah, it was amazing. It was definitely a magical night. So it was really, really good.
great? And when are you going to get divorced tomorrow?
Hopefully never. I don't want to do that again. It's kind of stressful to get married and then, divorce. And then you have to change your name and then you have to change your name back. So this one's for
Yeah, I
life.
know. Good. I'm glad you said that. Well. Anyway, congratulations to you for getting married
Thank
once
you.
again, and I hope this will be a good one for you. Anyway, tell everybody about yourself again.
Absolutely. My name is Kelly, and I am the founder of BCC Evolution, which is a mental health and suicide awareness nonprofit in Denver, Colorado.
Right. I'm glad you kind of like over the pond because I want to talk to you about a certain matter where do you know about what's been happening at the moment about the shooting that's going on with Nicholas oh what was his name? Oh, do you know what? It's right on my lips. Anyway, there was a big shooting on where all these what was it? 17 children got killed.
Yeah, in Uvalde,
Did you hear about
Texas. Is
that?
that the one?
That's it. Yeah, yeah. In the school, still there. Now, I've been kind of like following the court case for that, and I haven't got a clue why, but there you go. But anyway, I've been following it, and I think you know the families, their mental health going through a court case, going through through the kind of emotion of about was it about a couple of years ago now? Um, it happened. You know, wonder what their mental health is like. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I literally have been talking to so many people about this because it was on one of the last days of school. And for me, it really hits home because my son is 7 years old and he's in an elementary school. And so it
Yeah.
really, really hits home for me. And I could not even imagine. I mean, he missed a couple days at the end of his school because he actually had the flu this year. So, and it happened on one of those days. And I honestly was wondering how all those kids and the teachers and everybody were going to go back to school. And I know that they all did successfully go back to school already, but I mean, it cannot feel safe going back to that school. And I think that yeah, we ultimately, I mean, this kid didn't have a a record or anything, but that doesn't mean anything anymore. And I just think it's a shame that they have access to be able to buy guns. Like we never had the conversation, and it's something that I'm like, man, like if we could just talk to our kids, if we could just have those conversations, like maybe the mom would have known more, maybe the families would have
Yeah.
known more, but like why would you target an elementary school of, not that any school is better or worse than the other, but yeah, it definitely hits home for me. And
Mm.
I have not been following the court case. Um it's it's hard for me, even I mean, I'm in the world of mental health every day, but for me, like it's hard for me to watch. And so I have not been fully watching it,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah,
something's got to
yeah.
change.
Of course it is, yeah. And I'm glad you said that. Something's got to change. But the trouble is, we live in a world where no one wants to listen. You can bang on the doors, you can do what you want, you can sit outside, but people's not listening. Do you, with your sort of work too, do you find that over where you are? You feel like hitting your head against a brick wall?
Oh yeah, I mean, so BCC Evolution does classes. We do educational classes around mental health. And sometimes it's like pulling teeth to just get people in the classes. And then at other times we have an exorbitant amount of people in the classes. But really, when we look at schools, at least for me specifically, I have been wanting to get into the schools for a really long time and talk to the staff and talk to the kids and have the hard conversations that nobody wants to. But unfortunately, it's really, really hard for whatever reason to get into schools to be a speaker or like a guest person that comes in and talks with the kids. But it's definitely something that
Mm.
keeps coming up in my world, is the conversation that we need to start having with kids, specifically more so like younger kids, because it's happening earlier and earlier. And in Colorado, suicide is now the first leading cause of death for ages 10 to 14. And so that stat just shows
God.
that there's a huge need around that age.
So what kind of change would you like to see? You know, if there was change, what kind of change would you like to see?
I would love, I mean, schools need to have safety protocols in place. I know that they do at some schools. I know that like at least my son at his school, the doors are locked. All the doors are locked. You have to have a pass or a badge to go in and out. You also need to ring the doorbell if you're going to get your kid, but then it also like sparked these questions for me. Is like I ring the doorbell and they just automatically open the door. They're not even asking a question who's at the door or who you're picking up. They just let you come in. So I think, and this is just my personal opinion, like I'm not trying to go all political with people, but I really think that it would be valuable to arm our teachers potentially, but give them the training. I know in a lot of other countries, um, that they actually train everyone who turns 18. They train them how to use guns. They train them in gun safety. Like if we had more people that knew how to be safe with guns, would it change the narrative? I don't know, but I feel like it would be important to have that conversation. And we need to have schools that back up people more often. So,
Yeah, but the trouble is, though, see, when I if I took my if I had children at school still, and I walked into a school and there's two people outside with like a machine gun, say, and the other one's got I don't know, I don't know, K-46 or whatever it is. Then you go through, then all of a sudden you can see guards around with guns and everything. Then it's got to, it's thinking, well, you don't want your child going here, because it's gonna really upset them, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily like I wouldn't say it's like guards outside, right? But I think that if we so if the teachers know gun safety, if they've been trained in gun safety, they've been trained in how to carry like a concealed weapon. um I don't personally I feel like it would deter somebody going into a school and opening fire because they know that every single one of those teachers is armed. So if you happen to come into that classroom, there is a potential that you're going to meet a teacher that also has a gun. And so would it deter people? I don't know. I don't know the answers to all of these, but I feel like there needs to
Mm,
be stricter policies around safety at schools, whether that be we have an armed guard at everyone. I know we don't have the manpower, at least in Colorado, to do that, unfortunately, but I think that the conversation needs to be had. And I don't think it's necessarily like adding like armed guards outside
yeah.
or adding I know some schools have the metal detectors. Like I don't know if that's the answer, but
Yeah.
somehow somewhere we need to make schools safer.
Yeah. Yeah. Um. Also, because it's their mental health. It's their well-being. You know what I mean? How can they concentrate on probably exams? I was listening to a 16-year-old girl, and she was saying that the shooting has affected her so much that she wouldn't even go back to the school where she saw her kind of her best friend had her arm shot off. And it brings back the memories and everything.
Yeah, I
So she
mean,
won't go back there to have her to do exams.
it's so traumatic. Like I think back when I was in school, when I was in elementary or when I was in middle school or high school, right? Like that is supposed to be a safe place that we go. Like this should it should not be a place that you're scared to go. It shouldn't be a place that you step through the door and all of a sudden you have PTSD. Like kids are getting PTSD from these events. And so going
Yeah,
around
yeah,
having that conversation is not helping anything either, right? Like, let's figure it out. Let's talk about it. Let's find a way to make them feel safe again and regain that control or the sense of control so that they want to go to school. I wouldn't want to personally, right? Like that would be really really hard for me going
uh,
back to a school where I just saw a bunch of my friends get shot and or myself.
yeah, yeah. Kelly, what is your government doing about it then? Are they kind of like, I know he's a little bit of a lazy person, um, but is he actually doing something about it, or is he depending on other people kind of saying, look, okay, if he's not going to do something about it, we'll have to do something about it.
Unfortunately, what happens, at least in America, around any school shooting is we have this uproar of parents that are super concerned and they're like, we need to change something. We need to do something. We've got to make a change. And then there's usually nonprofits or agencies or other people that are like, yeah, let's make a change. And then it ends up going to the government and they're like, maybe we'll make a change. Maybe we won't. Like it's so
Yeah, yeah,
challenging. And then the cycle comes that everybody forgets until the next shooting. Then they're like, oh my gosh, I've got to like raise my arms and do this thing and do that thing. And then again, the cycle happens and
yeah,
people forget. And then it comes back around. So I know that there are stricter laws
yeah,
happening in certain states, but they really leave it up to the state. It's not like it's not a national thing. We're not fully looking at it as a nation, and we absolutely should be.
yeah. You should be looking at it as a nation, yeah. Do you think they're just afraid to accept responsibility because everywhere you go, especially in the US. You know, people being killed on the street. You know, car shootings and everything. Children being kind of shot too. I was reading the other day. You know, so do you think your government is like saying, oh well, it's everybody else's responsibility?
I don't know if they're necessarily saying that. I'm not I'm not like the biggest political type person, to be honest, just because I don't fully understand everything that goes into that. So I'm not going to say that I
Okay,
have
okay,
any of those
okay,
answers, but yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not
okay, Kelly.
familiar.
Let's go. Let's. I know you don't want to answer that question. So let's go around the thing then. Do you think, right, that what would you do if you what would you do now if you were the president of the United States? Imagine it. What would you do?
I honestly, and I've thought about this too, um, I would make a consistent safety plan for all schools across America, and I would make sure that every school abides by that safety plan. I don't think that it's necessary like taking away guns. I don't think it's necessarily making stricter laws. People get around laws all the time. Like it doesn't matter how many laws you put into place if somebody wants, whether it's gun or drugs or whatever it might be, if they want it, they're going to find it, no matter how many laws you put into place. So I think that it's really bringing all communities together and making an action plan and de- spreading that across the nation versus just leaving it up to the state or leaving it up to the school district or leaving up to, you know, whatever it comes down to. I think that as a whole nation, we need to start saving our children, and that starts in the schools with the safety. And so if I was the president, I would
Yeah.
make stricter safety protocols that
Mm.
schools have to follow. And I would give them more money. That's what I would do. I would give education way more money because it is way underpaid. Teachers, the districts, all of them, at least in Colorado, they are not funded enough. So money needs to go into the schools, into mental health. And they are really trying in Colorado. They are putting a lot of money into mental health and bringing on new resources for schools as far as psychologists and counselors and all of those things, which I think is great. But we still need to pay teachers way more because they are the lifeline for our children.
Okay. Okay. Get away from that thing then. There's a couple of questions because I'm not going to get no answer of you, so you're very clever with your answers. Um, but
That
one
is my
day I will.
answer. That's what I would do if I was the president.
No, I don't think. I think you. I think you're just holding back. I think you. I'd like to hear you come out and go. This is what I'm going to do. Something like that. But what do you? Let's get back to the mental health side of things. Mental health act. Do you think that needs to change the mental health act? Be looked at again.
The Mental Health Act.
Yeah.
I think that, I mean, we are doing so, not Colorado, but the US just implemented the 988 number. I don't know if you are
Mm-hmm.
familiar or found out about that, but I think that that is one really cool step that we're taking as a nation, and we implement. So it's instead of, well, 911 in the US is our emergency service, but 988 is now the national suicide hotline number. Instead of having to remember the whole entire phone number, it's now 988. So um,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that we're
I'm.
making strides.
Okay. What I'm trying to ask is about the mental health act. Do you think it needs to be kind of like to be tightened up a bit more? Do you think things needs to be added into the mental health, or do you think just leave it go?
I think that we always, I mean, at least from my perspective, we need to continue to update any, like, I mean, the Mental Health Act. Yeah, we like need to add in more. I don't know specifically like what we need to add in there, to be honest, but I think that we need to keep updating and making sure that we're implementing mental health across the board in schools, in companies, in, I mean, global. It's a global epidemic. So I don't know like what specifically needs to be added. And I probably would, again, I'm not like overly political, nor am I in the legal realm of anything. I kind of stick to my little community and what we're trying to accomplish with BCC Evolution as far as education wise. So I don't know the
Sorry about the
specifics
dog.
of, no worries. I don't know the
Sorry about that.
specifics of
Things
what does
happening.
or doesn't. So
Sorry about this. We're having like a nightmare here at the moment.
no worries.
Yeah, we're just having a nightmare here for a minute. So anyway, so the mental health acts, everything else to get right, and kind of like with your sort of work at this moment in time, do you find it difficult when when you feel that you're not getting anywhere?
I guess I kind of, a lot of times I feel that way just because there's not enough people that really want to learn, like really truly learn about mental health in general. So, I don't, I mean, I think that everybody talks about it and it's an important subject, but like really truly we're not doing as much as we need to do around mental health in general. And I
Yeah,
think that's on
totally.
the US and that's in the UK.
Sorry about all the questions today. I know it's not
No,
your
you're good.
remit,
That's
right?
okay.
You're not your remit, and you're quite good at arguing your questions, Ray. Anyway, thank you so much. Congratulations on your marriage.
Thank
Are you
you.
arguing away there in the corner? Are you kind of like looking at your husband thinking, "Oh my God, I'm glad this is over, done with."
Yeah, after because there's so much planning that happens and it's really, it's good to actually be done with it, you know. So
Oh, thank you. I love you too. Right, okay. Thank
I'm
you so
just
much.
joking.
Congratulations, by the way. Yeah,
Thank
so am
you.
I. So am I. All right.
No, I
Thank
just
you.
I just
And
looked up the Mental Health Act, so maybe next time we can have a conversation about that because I was not fully familiar with that. So I'll check it out and then we can talk about it next time.
person, person working in the mental health field, and they don't know nothing about the Mental Health Act.
Well, because it's UK,
Oh,
it's a UK act. It's actually not in the United States. So there is that.
well done. Good question. Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye bye
Yeah.
for now.
It was good to see you. Bye.
Thanks, Kelly. Bye. Bye.
Bye.